All right, so you're headed to Sicily. First time, huh?
Lucky you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But also, maybe a little overwhelming. I mean, where do you even begin with an island that's bursting with history, culture, and, let's be honest, amazing food?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
what we're here for. This deep dive is all about giving you a taste of what makes Sicily so special.
Think of it this way. You've done Rome. Now it's time to see a different side of Italy.
Exactly. So get ready for ancient wonders, fiery volcanoes, charming island vibes. We're about to unlock the magic of Sicily.
I can't wait.
Okay, let's start by rewinding the clock, way back. I'm talking ancient wonders, the kind of places where you can practically feel history breathing down your neck.
And when it comes to ancient wonders, Sicily really delivers. Some would even say it rivals mainland Italy.
Really? Wow. Okay, so where should we start?
Well, how about the Valley of the Temples in Agrigento?
Oh, yes. The Valley of the Temples. I've heard it's incredible.
It's more than incredible, it's mind-blowing. Imagine a whole complex of temples, some dating back to the 5th century BC.
5th century BC. That's, like, seriously old.
Seriously old and remarkably well-preserved. For example, the Tempio di Concordia is considered one of the most complete Doric temples anywhere.
Doric temple. Remind me what that means again.
Think those iconic columns, sturdy and simple, but incredibly elegant. And get this, you can still see original paint pigments on some of the columns.
No way. So you can actually get a sense of what it looked like back then.
Exactly. It's like stepping back in time.
Wow. Okay, you said a whole complex of temples. What else is there?
Well, there's the Temple of Olympian Zeus, which was once one of the largest temples ever built. Even in ruins, it's just colossal.
It's hard to even imagine the effort it took to build something like that.
It's a testament to the dedication and skill of the ancient Greeks who built it.
Okay, I'm sold. Valley of the Temples, definitely going on the list.
Good choice. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Sicily's ancient past. We haven't even touched on the Roman villas, the Norman castles, the Arab influences.
Oh, whoa, whoa, hold on. One step at a time.
Right, of course.
Okay, so we've explored ancient temples. Now let's fast forward a bit and talk about something a little more, well, fiery.
You're talking about Mount Etna, right?
Mount Etna, exactly.
You're in for a treat. Forget those rolling hills you might picture in Tuscany. We're talking about a landscape shaped by volcanic power.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Mount Etna is Europe's tallest active volcano.
Active. So it could erupt while I'm there.
Well, it's certainly a possibility. That's what makes it so exciting. It's constantly changing. In fact, its height actually fluctuates with each eruption.
Wait, what? The mountain actually gets taller or shorter?
Yep. Pretty cool, right?
That's more than cool. That's a little terrifying, to be honest.
Don't worry, it's closely monitored. But you're right, it's a powerful reminder that nature is in charge here, and that volcanic activity has created some pretty incredible sights.
Like what?
Oh, volcanic vents hissing steam, hot springs bubbling up, lava flows that have sculpted the land over centuries.
Okay, you're painting quite a picture here. So what's it actually like to visit Mount Etna? Can you hike up to the crater?
Absolutely. You can hike, explore in all-terrain vehicles, even take a cable car for some seriously breathtaking views.
A cable car up an active volcano, that's a new one for me. But what if I'm not exactly, the hiking type?
No problem. There's a really cool narrow-gauge railway that circles around the base of the mountain.
What's so special about a narrow gauge railway?
It's not just about the train. It takes you through these charming little towns, past castles, ancient ruins, and you get these incredible glimpses of Etna along the way.
Okay, I'm starting to get why they call Sicily the land of contrasts. So we've explored ancient temples, we've climbed a volcano, at least in our imaginations.
And now it's time to slow things down a bit, head to the coast.
Sounds perfect. Where are we going?
How about Ortigia?
Ortigia sounds, I don't know, kind of magical.
It is. It's a tiny island, but it's the historical heart of Syracuse.
Okay, paint me a picture. What's so special about it?
Imagine narrow medieval streets, honey-colored buildings, and the sea all around.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But I've been to Rome, and I remember that feeling of history being layered, like ancient ruins right next to modern life. Is it like that in Ortigia too?
Oh, absolutely, but maybe on a smaller, more intimate scale. Ortigia is like a microcosm of Sicily's history. Greek temples, a cathedral that was once a mosque, Norman additions.
So it's like you're walking through different layers of time.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, this is going on the list for sure.
And here's a pro tip. Take a walk along the Foro Italico promenade, especially at sunset. The The views across the harbor are amazing.
Okay, mental note. Sunset stroll in Ortigia. Check. All right, so far we've time traveled at the Valley of the Temples, felt the heat of Mount Etna, and found some peace and quiet in Ortigia. What's next?
Now it's time to dive into the heart of Sicily. We're going to Palermo.
Palermo. Okay, I've heard it's a bit of a wild card. Little chaotic, but full of character.
You got it.
So what am I in for? What should I expect?
Imagine a city where Arab souks meet Baroque piazzas, where the air is filled with the scent of spices and freshly baked cannoli.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. But seriously, how do you even navigate a city that sounds that, well, intense?
Honestly, the best way to experience Palermo is to just let go. Wander, get lost in the maze of streets, and be open to surprises.
That sounds a little scary and a little exhilarating all at the same time.
Exactly. That's Palermo in a nutshell.
So are we talking about a similar mix of cultures like we saw in Ortigia?
Oh, definitely. But Palermo takes it to a whole other level.
How so?
Think about it. Rome's cultural blend is mainly about its Roman and Catholic history. Palermo, it's been a crossroads for centuries, a meeting point for so many different cultures.
Nations, Greeks, Romans, Arabs, they all left their mark.
And Normans and Spaniards. It's this incredible fusion of styles. It's what gives the city its unique energy. Arab cupolas next to Baroque facades, Byzantine mosaics alongside Norman remains.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. It's like this layered history, but with an extra dose of, I don't know, vibrancy.
Exactly. Palermo is alive in every sense of the word.
I'm definitely sensing a theme here. Layers upon layers of history. But what about something a little more, well, relaxing?
Okay, so we've explored the ancient world, felt the heat of a volcano, wandered through a historical maze. Now it's time for some coastal bliss.
Oh, yes, bring on the beaches.
We're heading to Cefalù.
Cefali, I'm already picturing myself on a beach with a gelato in hand.
You're not far off. Cefalù is the perfect place to just unwind, soak up that Mediterranean vibe.
Okay, I'm sold. But we've already talked about Ortigia, which is on the coast too, right? What makes Cefalù different?
Think of it this way. Ortigia is all about history and charm. Cefalù is where the mountains meet the sea. It's a different kind of beauty.
Okay, I can picture that. So what's on the must-see list for Cefalù?
Well, first of all, the beaches.
Well, of course.
But also, the town itself is adorable. Narrow cobblestone streets, colorful houses, great food.
Sounds perfect.
And there's the Norman cathedral, the Duomo di Cefalù.
Wait, another Norman cathedral.
They really got around, those Normans. This one is incredible, though. Byzantine mosaics, soaring twin towers. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Okay, I'm sensing a pattern here. Normans plus Byzantine influence equals stunning architecture.
You're catching on.
So, after I've explored the town and the cathedral, where do I go for that beach time?
Well, the main beach in town is lovely, but if you want something a little more secluded,
Ooh, I do love a hidden gem.
head to the beaches of Mazzaforno and Setefradi.
Okay, tell me more.
Pristine stretches of sand, turquoise waters, dramatic cliffs.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got ancient temples, a volcano, charming towns, and now beaches. My head is spinning.
That's Sicily for you. It's an island that will awaken your senses and leave you wanting more.
I believe it. And I'm already planning my trip. But you know, we've only scratched the surface.
That's right. There's so much more to discover.
Which is why we'll be back. But for now, it's time to take a break and let all this sink in.
Sounds good to me. You know, what's really fascinating about Sicily is it's not just the big famous sites.
I was just thinking that. It's the little things, right? Like those hidden alleys you find in Rome.
Exactly. The unexpected discoveries. That's what makes a trip truly memorable.
Absolutely. Speaking of discoveries, what's been grabbing your attention so far in our little Sicilian adventure?
That's a tough one.
I know, right? There's just so much.
Okay, for me, it's that sense of history you get in Ortigia, that feeling of layers upon layers of different civilizations.
Yes. It's like stepping back in time, but in a way that's so real and tangible.
Exactly, like take the cathedral in Ortigia.
The one that used to be a mosque.
That's the one. It started as a Greek temple dedicated to Athena, then became a mosque during the Arab period, and then finally a Christian cathedral in the Norman era.
All in one building. That's crazy.
It's like a physical timeline of Sicily's history.
Mind-blowing. Okay, so we've got the ancient Greeks, the Arabs, the Normans. That reminds me, you said Palermo has that same kind of cultural blend, but with a twist.
Right. And it's all about location, location, location.
What do you mean?
Well, Rome was the heart of the Roman Empire and then the center of the Catholic Church. Its cultural mix reflects that.
Makes sense.
Palermo. It's always been this crossroads in the Mediterranean. Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Normans, Spaniards, they've all passed through, traded, conquered.
And they all left their mark.
Exactly. That's what makes Palermo so unique. Arab cupolas on Norman palaces, Byzantine mosaics in Baroque churches, markets with Sicilian ceramics, and North African spices.
It's like this amazing cultural tapestry.
That's a great way to put it.
And it explains why you said Palermo operates on its own time. It's this fusion of influences. It must feel almost timeless.
It does.
Okay, so lots of history, lots of culture, but we can't forget about the food.
Ah, yes. How could we? Sicilian food is a journey in itself. Greek, Arab, Spanish, Norman, you taste it all.
So we're talking another melting pot, but this time a culinary one.
Exactly. Fresh seafood, sun-ripened tomatoes, herbs, spices.
Okay, my mouth is watering. I need to go find some Sicilian food, like right now.
I hear you. But first, let's finish our little tour of Sicily, shall we?
Of course. What's next?
Let's head back to the coast. We've talked about the energy of Palermo, but Sicily also has this incredibly peaceful side.
Sicily, right? The town with the beach and the Norman cathedral.
You got it. Sicily is pure relaxation, that Mediterranean dream come true.
Okay, you had me at beach. But seriously, what makes Sicily so special? We've already got Ortigia on our list, which is coastal too.
Right, but Ortigia is all about history. Sicily, it's where the mountains meet the sea. The landscape is just breathtaking.
Oh, okay, I can see that being different. So
Yeah.
what should I do in Sicily besides, lie on the beach?
Well, explore the town itself. It's charming, with cobblestone streets, colorful houses, little cafes.
And the Norman cathedral, you mentioned that.
The Duomo di Cefalù, don't miss it. Think incredible Byzantine mosaics, those towering twin towers. It's another UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Wow, the Normans really knew how to build, huh?
They did. And those mosaics, they tell a story too. You see that blend of Christian and Byzantine influences again.
Fascinating. Okay, after the town and the cathedral, it's beach time. Which beach should I go to?
The main beach is great, right in town. But if you want something more secluded,
I do love a good secret spot.
head to Mezzaforno or Setafrati.
Mezzaforno, Setafrati. I'm writing these down. What are they like?
Picture this. Pristine sand, turquoise water, dramatic cliffs.
Sold. Okay, ancient temples, a volcano, charming towns, beaches. I'm officially overwhelmed in the best possible way.
That's the magic of Sicily.
It really is. It's like this place that awakens all your senses.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
we've only just begun to explore.
I know. I can't wait to see what else we discover. But for now, I think we need a little break to process all this amazingness.
Agreed.
Okay, we're back, and I'm ready to turn all these Sicilian daydreams into a reality. But where to begin? There's just so much to see and do.
That's the beauty of it. You can really tailor your trip to what excites you the most.
I know, right? But so many things are exciting. Okay, for me, those ancient temples, they're really calling to me.
Ah, yes, the call of history.
Exactly. So if someone's obsessed with ancient history, where do they start?
The Valley of the Temples in Agrigento, no question. It's a must-see.
Okay, but we've talked about it a lot. Any insider tips for visiting
Oh, yeah, definitely. Go early in the morning or late in the afternoon.
to avoid the crowds?
Well, that too, but also the light, the golden hour light on those ancient stones. It's just magical.
Ooh, good tip. Okay, what about those Norman cathedrals? I'm really fascinated by those.
Ah, yes, the Normans. For a truly immersive experience, you have to go to Monreal.
Monreal.
It's just outside of Palermo, the cathedral there. It's a masterpiece of Norman architecture. And the mosaics.
What about them?
They cover over 6,000 square meters. 6,000.
That's insane.
It is, and they depict scenes from the Bible, both the Old and New Testaments.
Showing that blend of Christian and Byzantine styles we've been talking about.
Exactly, it's a visual feast.
Monreal, added to the list. But what about Palermo itself? Any must-sees there, especially for those Arab influences you mentioned?
Oh, Palermo's full of them. You just have to know where to look. Keep an eye out for the geometric patterns, the calligraphy, those pointed arches.
Subtle details. Got it. Any specific places you recommend?
The Palazzo dei Normanni. It's the royal palace.
Built by the Normans, obviously.
Well, it was originally an Arab fortress, but the Normans expanded it, and the Palatine Chapel inside. Stunning.
Okay, so much history. But what about those travelers who are looking for more of an adventure?
Mount Etna is calling.
Right, the volcano.
It's not just a volcano, it's a hiker's paradise. Trails for every level, from easy strolls to serious climbs. And if you're really adventurous,
Yeah.
you can explore the summit craters. With a guide, of course.
Wow, that's next level adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe I'm not ready to climb into a volcano. Are there more, chill ways to experience nature in Sicily?
Tons. The coastline is incredible. Hidden coves, beaches, dramatic cliffs. You could spend weeks just exploring the coast.
Now that's my kind of adventure. Speaking of which, those charming towns, the ones you mentioned with the cobblestone streets and the relaxed vibe, that's what I'm really craving.
Cefalu is calling your name.
It does, doesn't it?
And if you want to go a little off the beaten path, head south to the Val di Noto.
Val di Noto, what's that?
It's a region with these amazing Baroque towns. They were rebuilt after an earthquake in the 1690s.
So they're like little time capsules.
Exactly.
Wow, it's incredible how much diversity there is in Sicily. Ancient temples, Baroque towns, beaches, volcanoes. It's like a whole world in one island.
It really is. And we've only just scratched the surface.
I know, it's kind of overwhelming, but in the best way possible. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's your one piece of advice for first-time travelers to Sicily?
Don't try to see it all. Pick a few places that really speak to you and really dive in. Take your time, get lost, enjoy the food, the people, the atmosphere.
Great advice. Embrace the Sicilian way of life.
Exactly.
Well, I'm officially ready to book my ticket. Sicily, here I come.
Ciao!